But I think it's also important to understand how everybody in this room learns. One issue I have with the school system is they try to teach every kid the same. So for me, I got 3 different kids. My 12-year-old son struggles in school, real bad ADHD. However, he is the most sociable kid. Like, he can do well in life. Like, he'll go and he negotiates with people like a grocery store to get candy. Like, he has no fear of communicating. But when it comes to school, like the factory line, he just doesn't retain the information the same way. My daughter, Marley, she's 10. She is programmed that way and gets into the school system, works great for her. But the problem is they're teaching all these kids the same exact way, and all of them learn differently. So if you look at people, it's really broken up into thirds. Okay, a third of people will learn visually. That's their dominant learning behavior. Okay, we all learn from all the different ways, but that's their dominant style. Some people will learn through hearing, and then some people will learn just they have to actually touch, feel, and do it. So it's got visual, audio, and kinesthetic. Okay. Now, how would you know, if you remember this from class? I may have gone over this with you too, but if you don't, how would you know how they learn? Okay, you listen, and what are you gonna look for?
Watch what they, watch how they do things, watch how they talk to people, maybe look at things.
Okay. Anybody else have any ideas?
Well, an introduction before you bring them into the office.
How do you mean?
Having a sit down with them once you know the deal is essentially done, or while it's closing up, you go and introduce yourself. You get to spend 5-10 minutes with them just talking to them, but it gives you a good idea of what you're going to be facing in the following 20 minutes when they come back to you.
Okay. I'm going to show you a really neat trick that's going to teach you how to, let's not call it a trick, that sounds bad. A neat strategy, would be corporate here, to teach you how to know how somebody learns. Okay, now this I'm going to use an 80% rule, but what I need here is if I could have Ashley, Maggie, and Mrs. Beers. Gotta call you last name. Miss Amy. Just stand up in the front real quick. Right? In a minute, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm just going to have you answer honestly. I just want you to read that real quick. All right, don't say anything. And when you got it.
That's the lunch order,
Yeah, we're stealing our food. All right, so I'm gonna ask you guys some questions. I appreciate you being up here. Ask you guys some questions. Maggie, what was your favorite movie you've seen in the last 5 years? Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Ashley, what's your best dinner you've ever eaten in your life? I know, right?
I really don't know.
Okay. Amy, what's the best memory you have of your son? If it's personal, I didn't answer it.
Picking him up at JFK from school.
Okay. All right. Another question for you, Amy. What was your favorite TV show in the last 10 years? Okay, fair enough. I got the answer first.
That still wasn't bad.
What was your favorite teacher in 11th grade?
Mrs. Crowley, I remember.
Really? Mrs. Crowley?
Yeah.
You like Dozzy, that's good. And then, I'm running out of questions here. What was the best memory you have at working? Okay, you should do that more often. Thank you, guys, to sit down. Now, here's the crazy thing. All three of them have the same. It's normally not like that. You normally get 3 different ones. Where did their eyes go? All of them went down. Okay, so here's how this translates. And it's a crazy thing. They typically, 80%, if I was just judging based off those questions, they're more kinesthetic, meaning their learning style, they do better actually doing it versus somebody telling them to do it or hearing it or just having it written down. They're better like actually seeing it done. Typically more emotional. They care more. It's usually that style. Maggie was on the fence because you were kind of in the middle and down. So usually when their eyes stay in the middle, when you ask a question, they have to think about. Okay? If they stay in the middle, they're more audio. If they look up like I do, like if you ask me a question to think about, like my eyes almost roll in the back of my head, they're more visual people. Okay, now what that means is you have two things going on. How do you teach these people? How do you sell these people? Okay, so if I'm presenting something based off just that, okay, every time I ask a question, I'm gonna say, how do you feel about that? I'm not gonna say, how does that look? How does that sound? How do you feel about it? If they're more visual, I'm gonna say, how does that look to you? I'll get because visual people think in pictures, okay? They think in experiences. Audio think in sound, okay? So if it's more audio, how does that sound to you? Now here's a crazy thing. You start looking at your salespeople. Visual people, when they're standing, like if I'm standing, I'm talking to Ashley, I'm gonna keep a little bit of my space just because I want to see her. Okay, I don't want to cut my vision off. Audio, depending on how good my hearing is. If I have bad hearing, it changes everything. Good hearing, close. Now more kinesthetic people, they'll talk closer and they don't realize it a lot of times. When it comes to phone usage, people that are more visual don't like talking on the phone. They don't mind texting. Okay? If they're more audio, they love talking on the phone. More visual, I will remember every one of your faces, but there's a reason you have the name tags. I have a hard time remembering names. More audio, you can remember everybody's name, but forget their faces. It's kind of crazy how that works.
Can I challenge you a little bit?
Sure.
Do you think if the questions that you asked were more recent based, as opposed to something in the last 5 years, best meal that you've ever had, do you think there would have been a difference in the reaction?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reason I put timelines on that for this class purpose is the only time your eyes start doing that is when you're thinking about something. So like if you're like, what color suit you're wearing? I'm like, blue. I don't need to think about that. What's your best TV show of the last 10 years? Let's say, what's your best TV show of all time? You may already know it. So that's why it's broken up. But what happens is when you're talking with a customer, your salespeople, ask them questions, you can start seeing their eyes go when they're thinking about something. You know, it's really neat. But the bigger thing is how to teach people. And it's also understand, you come through a class, you go through a presentation, they teach you like a word track to go through. Best case scenario is only fit in a third. And not even that, because now you got personalities involved with it, how people learn, and I'm gonna do the same thing every time. I can have the same structure every time. I could take it to the same place, but the canned word tracks, we're not gonna teach you those here. Okay? You're not gonna have canned word tracks. All your presentation is gonna be yours, has to be yours. But it's important to understand all this. Now, I don't expect anybody to be an expert at this, but what's gonna happen is you're gonna go talk to somebody and you're gonna ask them a question, all of a sudden you're gonna see like crazy eye movement, you're like, wait a minute. And you're gonna go back and look at it, and then it's gonna start coming together. The key to keep making yourself better is to keep practicing, find different things to make your life better and different things where you can have more of an edge. If I knew how somebody learned and what their personality was before they came in, am I in a better position to have a presentation than if I didn't? Okay, think about that.